Well, good morning, Vietnam, or should I say good evening on a Sunday. Something new that I wanted to try was with this whole tech talk thing because I think I want to do a live stream every week talking about the newest tech that has come out, and hopefully the audio is good. Hopefully it's in sync with the microphone or with the camera because I had an issue. I was testing it earlier and I had to change the delay on the milliseconds, so I got a 200 milliseconds, so it should be good. If you could just let me know that my mouth and the video is actually moving at the same time, because that would be really, really helpful. There is a couple of things I do want to talk about some of the new tech that has come out now, and here it is, close to the end of August 2025, and I think it's really worth mentioning a lot of this tech. Looks like my microphone's a little bit on the hot side. Let me pop in here and see how the chat's going. Grandpa's Random Reviews. Howdy, first time I've actually made it to one of your live streams. Thank you very much for joining the live stream. If you have any questions, just put it down in the chat and I will definitely be able to answer it within, or as best as I can. Let's see what else we got here. We got Jimmy J. Okay, here's my question. What would you like to know? Sorry, I couldn't help it. Yes, what would you like to know? If you have a question, just pop it down in the chat. Jimmy J. Hey, Chad, don't forget to hit the like button. Help Andre with his first show's analytics. Thank you very much, Jimmy J, because that does help. If you're new here and you're just kind of joining into this live stream, hitting the like button does help with the whole YouTube algorithm thing. I'm not chasing subscribers. That's not the whole thing. It's just, YouTube, if they think that your viewers are watching and they like the content, then they are more prone to actually putting out, if I don't knock everything off my mic stand here, they are more prone to pushing out your videos. So I definitely do help, or I definitely do appreciate that, Jimmy J. Okay, here we go. Yes. Grandpa's Random Reviews. Audio sounds excellent. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. We got Jimmy J. Audio's clearing levels are good. Sync a minor bit off. I'm trying a different setup because last time I used that little Ozbot Tiny 2 webcam and the sync was like atrociously off. And so I've got the Canon M50 and running the Mayono microphone, and I did change the delay so that it would be a little bit, and I did a quick test earlier. Obviously, maybe the longer that this goes, the more out of sync it goes. If that's the case, then I'll have to come up with a plan B, C, D, and E. Let's see. Live streams can be fun, kind of just like hanging out and chilling. Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is a great way for me, at least in my opinion, and I love this little chat pop-out thing because I tried that a couple of weeks ago just to see, it's one thing to drop a comment or a question in chat and have me reply to it, but having it pop up on the screen to me was just a little bit more of a direct person-to-person connection and an acknowledgement that I do appreciate you making, whether it's just watching this or just making a comment or a question. I do appreciate that. Let's see, Jimmy J, only a few milliseconds, though, might be on my side, too. No, I got a feeling, Jimmy, that it may actually be on my side, but if that's the case, it's trial and error. Let's see, are you using StreamYard? No, I'm not. I'm actually using OBS, and I found a way to do a chat widget, I guess, to add into OBS to where when I'm connected to YouTube, it will actually show me the chats on the screen, and if I click the chat, it'll just pop right up. And I thought about doing StreamYard, but I don't do enough live streaming yet to really think about investing into StreamYard. The nice thing about StreamYard is, from what I see, because I know Alan from SoundSpeeds, I've been on a couple of his live streams before, and he can have multiple guests on at the same time. And I think that that's really cool too. And I may actually venture into that if these live streams do start to gain some traction and people are actually interested. Let me check one thing here on my stream health. Let's see. It says 100% excellent connection, which is great because I've got a fiber line. So with the 1 gig line, I figured that I should have a pretty good connection. Let's see. Grandpa's random reviews. That's pretty cool. StreamYard doesn't have it to where you can automatically. You have to add the comments though. For some reason, I thought the StreamYard, but then again, I don't know anything about StreamYard except being on Alan's live streams. But I thought that the comments were kind of embedded into the software. Maybe not. Maybe not. What do I want to talk about tonight? I'm not going to keep you for too long, but there is some cool tech that has come out and some cool tech that's being talked about. And, okay, so if you're into drones at all, I've got the 00 Robotics, the Hover, if I can get that to focus, the Hover X1. Now, this thing was an unbelievable, and they bill it not as a drone, they bill it as a flying camera. But, either way, it's still a drone. And it shot 2.7K, and it had the ability to AI track you and follow you around or do these pre-programmed flights, which was great. And then they came out with this bad boy right here, the Hover X1 Pro Max. Shoots 8K video, and it has a lot more pre-programmed flight modes. And one of them that I like is whenever I'm reviewing an e-bike, that it will follow you in cycling mode. You can have it fly in front of you. So like you have a cameraman following you, side view, all that. And I'm working on a video right now where I'm testing out the indoor follow function of the Hover X1 Pro Max because I wanted to see would it be able to navigate going up a flight of stairs. And my flight of stairs going from the first to second floor, you have to go up a little bit, then there's a landing, and there's a good, almost 180-degree turn, and then it continues on up. And I wanted to see how I was going to navigate, and I was very pleasantly surprised. It went up the stairs, kind of stopped, the camera tilts up a little bit, follows you, and then the entire drone just flew right up to where it's eye level with me again, followed me, and then continued up. I was really impressed with that, but you can see that video. It'll be published next week. Let's see. I'll make sure that the camera's still going. It's just telling me it's about to go deactivate. But anyway, Hover 00 Robotics is coming out with, or they've announced that they're coming out with this new drone right here, the Hover Aqua. Well, the Hover Aqua, it has the ability to land in the water, take off from the water, and even if for some reason, let's say the drone was to flip upside down in the water, it can actually right itself. So I guess one end of the props would activate and flip the drone back onto proper orientation, and then it can fly off again, which I think is really cool. Is it something that I'm interested in? No. I mean, don't get me wrong. If they were to send me one, would I review it? Absolutely. Because their products, the leap that they did from the X1 to the X1 Pro Max was unbelievable. And considering that it's such a tiny little drone and how powerful it is, I was very, very impressed with it and still am to this day. The Aqua, no offense to those that like water sports, I'm not a water skier and all that kind of jazz. I mean, I do have a swimming pool, and I would test it in the swimming pool or maybe take my daughter out to the lake and see if she wanted to go jet skiing or something. But other than that, no. Let me get the chat real quick. Let's see. I meant the popping up on the screen, not regular chat. Sorry. Yeah, I tell you, Grandpa's review, when and if, and I think it's just a matter of time at this point before I actually venture off and get StreamYard. But when I get it, I'll be able to dig into it a little bit more and see how powerful that it is. I really like the waiting room feature, so you can have guests in a waiting room, and then you can pop them up on the screen. And I think Alan had, if Alan's not working, if he's happened to be listening in, he can chat or chime in on the chat. But I think you can have 9 guests at one time, or maybe it's 6. I don't know. I think you probably have to pay for that little feature. Does it have obstacle avoidance? If you're talking about the Hover Aqua, that I do not know. If you're talking about the Hover X1 Pro Max, it does have obstacle avoidance, but it's only in, let's see if I can get that to focus right there. It's only in the rear. So if the camera's backing up and it notices an object, it'll stop. But it only does it when you're recording in 4K. If you're recording in 8K, it disables that rear sensor. Kind of weird if you ask me. But I guess it's because the only issue that I ran into with the Hover X1 Pro Max is if you're recording in 8K, 30 frames per second, and it's very warm outside. And keep in mind that the Hover X1 Pro Max, it does have a built-in fan for the internals to keep everything cool. But here in Texas, it is a little bit on the warm side. And I found that if I fly it around a lot, and what I mean by a lot is like anything over like about 4 or 5 minutes, it'll go into an overheat mode and just land, and it'll let you know that it is overheated, but it's because of the 8K. But the Hover Aqua, if you're interested in the Hover Aqua, let me know in the comment section. Like I said, Zero Robotics, they have not reached out to me yet regarding reviewing it. And if there's enough, I guess, interest in that drone, I would definitely, I'd review it, although I'd probably end up just doing a giveaway within a week later and giving it to somebody that actually could put it to some good use, because I'm just not a Aqua kind of guy. But while we're on the subject of drones, let's talk about the Anti-Gravity A1 360 8K drone. Now, I made a comment about this drone before in a video talking about, for some reason, it was in my mind that if it's going to be a 360 camera drone, because of the weight of what the X5 is, and since Anti-Gravity is in, I don't know if it's a sister company, but, they say it's incubated by Insta360. I think it's just a sister company, but I would have definitely thought for sure it would have been a drone over 249 grams. Apparently it is not. I do like all the pre-launch videos that I've seen about this drone. I think that, all the pre-videos, it's talked about that it's actually pre-production firmware that was in it, and 8K was not available yet at the time. But then again, sorry about hitting the mic. But then again, hey, if it's not ready for market, it's definitely going to have pre-production firmware in it. But from what I saw, hey, a 360 drone, you'll never miss a shot. You can reframe the same flight path in different frames, different captures. I mean, that's something I'm really, really looking forward to. Although I hear the price now, my Insta360 rep has nothing to do with anti-gravity. So he and she could not tell me anything about it. What I've seen on some of the leaks online talked about it was going to be in the $12.99 range. That could be a little bit pricey considering, it's one of those sub 250 drones. But then again, when you think about like the X5 being $500 and something, to have a 360 drone that could shoot in 8K, I don't know. I have to see what their launch is going to be. Let's get back into chat here. Let's see. Shoot, my GoPro overheats in the shade. I just up the road from you. Oh, okay. Well, hey, I'm over here in the North Texas area by South Lake and Grapevine and all that. Because a lot of my videos, you'll see I'll go to downtown Grapevine to shoot low light stuff. Let's see what else we got here. I don't think I would use the Aqua one, but the other one sounds cool. No, this X1 Pro Max. I will tell you Grandpa's random reviews, and I'll call you by your channel name because I don't know what your real name is. By the way, my name is Andre, if you don't know. This thing, yes, it's not inexpensive, but wow, this thing is so powerful. And you also get with it, I didn't plan on showing this, but I'll do it real quick. You get this if you buy the big bundle. So you get a beacon, which shows you on the screen what the camera's actually recording. And then you've got these two ends right here. One of them, I believe, is... Nope, I picked the wrong one. Maybe is it this one? Oh, which one's got the trigger on it? One of them has a trigger where you can stick one end. Yeah, it's this one right here. So it's got a little trigger right up here. And you can stick this part in and use it as a one-handed controller. So as you push in a button and move your hand, the drone will actually move. It's really just outstanding. The technology behind this is just great. Let's see. Let me knock out a couple more of these comments. That's getting up there with DJI cost. Yeah, that... I've got a lot of DJI products. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. I've got the... Oh, gosh. Let's just start off. How many drones have I got? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 DJI drones. My last one was the Air 2S. And it's one I still use right now because it's just a great drone. I've got the original Osmo Action 1. I never got, I never got the Action 2. I got the Action 3, which was out of focus. I got the Action 4, which was, it did everything that the 3 was supposed to do. Very good. I've got the Action 5. I did my review of it. I think it's got some shortcomings, but we'll see what the Action 6 does. I got the Pocket 1. I've got the Pocket 3. I guess what I'm trying to say about DJI, I have purchased a lot of DJI products, and you know how many that they've sent me? None. But that's okay. That's okay. Because, maybe it's because I'm a little bit brutally honest about some of the things I come across, like with the Action 3, with that being out of focus. I mean, I made a big deal out of it, but, DJI was just kind of shrugging it off, saying that it was just a sharpening issue, and it definitely was not. Let's see. Grandpa's random reviews. Wichita Falls. Well, hey, I like Wichita Falls. Not that far. Not that far. Brandon. Well, hello, Brandon. My name is Andre. Pleased to meet you, sir. Let's see. Well, that button would be nice. It is. It is. And I think it's part of a bigger package because 00 Robotics, they did send me the original Hover X1 and the X1 Pro Max, and it came with the whole kit of extra batteries. It had the, like I said, the little beacon with it, the joysticks. You can actually put both joysticks into the beacon and fly it as a conventional drone, and you don't need your phone attached to it. It's really just super powerful. And here's the cool thing about 00 Robotics, or Hover, the company, with these drones, is that they push out firmware updates like crazy. And every time that they put out an update, it improves it. It gives you another flight mode that wasn't offered before. So definitely worth it in my opinion. Jimmy J, can't wait, but I'm apprehensive that it won't happen for DJI to start offering products in the U.S. again. And I'm wondering if I should sell my drone now due to availability. It might be a time to cash in. Regarding drones, yeah. The U.S. government is really coming down on the China drone market. And I'm not going to get into this political thing, but is it a security issue or not? And I'm kind of on the fence. Maybe it could be a security issue, but then again, they've got so many DJI drones out around the world, and especially when you think about firefighters and police departments and the FBI and CIA, they all have drones that they use in investigations, and a majority of them are DJI drones. It kind of makes you wonder, but regarding the products being sold in the U.S., I saw that on Amazon now. The DJI Osmo 360 is available on Amazon, and some of the other DJI products are now back available on Amazon. So I don't know about the drones. I haven't looked at any. I'm not really in the market for another DJI drone. Like I said, the Air 2S fits all my needs. It works perfectly. Let's see. Brandon. Yeah, well, if they don't send you a product, you have a little bit more freedom on what to say. That is really it's interesting that you say that, because I have not let one company tell me what to say. And well, I had one company that sent me a product and then told me this contract. And this is, by the way, after it arrived and I received it, because they're like, hey, I just want to make sure that you received it. The tracking says that you got it. And it's like, yeah, I got the product. And I'll start testing with it in the next week. And then they sent me this contract thing saying that I had to give them the rights to the video, that they had to see the video beforehand. Here's all the bullet points and everything. And I just told them very nicely, no, I'm not going to review your product. And you can send me a prepaid shipping return label, and I'm going to ship this back to you, because that's not the way that I do it. And I know there was, what was it, about, I guess this is August, so 8-9 months ago, it was the big stink about, if you get a product, do you have to disclose that it's a paid sponsorship, even though you weren't paid? My mentality about it is, if a company sends you a product, let's say like a drone, and it's a $400 retail drone, you just got paid $400. Because if you get to keep it, you just gain financially from it. But I don't let that sway me at all. I mean, there's good and bad in every product, and I don't like bashing products, but I'm not going to be a kiss up either. That just doesn't work for me. I started this channel, worth it or not, expressly for that catchphrase. Is it worth it or not? Because I'm very frugal about a lot of stuff that I purchase, and my channel started with budget action cameras because at the time GoPros were going for $4.99, and you could buy an action camera. Let's go back to like SJ Cam. You could buy one of those for under $100 or $100 plus a little bit, and it maybe gave you 80% of what the video and performance quality was. Well, $100, $500. Yeah, the budget market was real good. Unfortunately, the budget market has changed so much here lately because of GoPro. GoPro really, they're the innovators of action cameras. But then you've got like DJI. When they came out with the Osmo Action 1, they brought something to the market where people are like, wow, this thing is actually built really nice. The colors are really nice. The field of view was not as wide, but it was true 4K, had great stabilization. So it gave GoPro some competition, and I think competition is really good. And then you get Insta360, you got into the market, and now those are three big dogs. And I mean, we can talk about GoPro. I knew that the 13 was going to be an issue for GoPro, and it was, at least in my opinion. There was just nothing there. Maybe the GoPro Hero 14, because I think GoPro, and everybody's talking about the Max 2. And, no offense to DJI coming out with the DJI Osmo 360. I think they're trying to get into the market, and that's all well and fine. But, they dominate with their action cameras, the Pocket series, their gimbals, their drones. I think it was just a little market share grab on their end to try to get into Insta360's kind of niche. And, here's Insta360's like, okay, well, hang on a second. We'll start up anti-gravity and we'll compete with you in a drone market. Let's see here. Got to hit this button. Yes, I'm still working. Okay. All I ever get is the cheaper drones. Let's see, Brandon. I got the Atom. Yeah, the Atom drone. The first one was not a mechanical gimbal. Then the second one I got from Atom that I did a review on was a 2-axis gimbal and then electronic stabilization added into it. It flew just fine. I mean, it's not going to be anything that you're going to stick on Netflix or any kind of award-winning cinematic aerial footage that you're going to capture with it. And I would never use it for like real estate footage. But, hey, they're fun and they capture kind of like what I was talking about with the budget action cameras. They capture what you need, and if it's 80% of the video quality, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, being tight. I say being tight. That's just me talking because I am tight. I don't have any sellers or agents. Agencies tell me what to say. Some have tried, but I told them I don't want to script anything. I never remember what to say. I don't let them tell me what to say. I mean, I've had a couple of paid sponsorships, and it was over some lenses that I've gotten. And when it's a paid sponsorship, I look at it as, okay, if a company's paying you to create a video, it's going to be like you are a freelance filmmaker or you have a freelance production company and you're creating a commercial. Excuse me. And if somebody's paying you to create a commercial, you don't want to sit there and really bash something. But I also try to tie it into, it just goes back to what I said before. Not everything is perfect. Everything has a flaw to a certain degree, whether it's a lens and it's got some focus breathing whenever you're manually pulling focus on it, and maybe the 20 millimeter doesn't have any focus breathing, but the 75 millimeter has a ton of it. You've got to call that out, because if people are looking at your videos trying to make an educated decision on should they buy something or not, and they look at you and say, hey, you said it was great and I bought it and it's garbage and now I have to go through the return process. That's not what I want to be known for. I'm not a shill. And I say I'm not a shill because if you buy something through my affiliate links, thank you very much, because yes, I do earn a commission off of it. I don't know why my camera keeps telling me that it's inactive, because it's not. Okay. Anyway, but anyway, I don't want you to look at my videos. If I say that something is worth it, I honestly believe it's worth the money that I would pay for it. And that's me coming across as somebody frugal or stingy or whatever it is that you'd like to call it. Let's see, Jimmy J. I think those DJI items are being sold by being sold by other than Amazon. And other than DJI, I'm suspicious of that. I wonder if my DJI credit will expire. First world problems. Yeah, I do have some credit with DJI too, because I bought a lot of stuff from them. But I'll just buy it through the website if I'm going to use the credit, unless it's something that I'm really kind of curious about and I'd like a decent return policy, and I don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I have to send this thing all the way back to China. And how much is that going to cost? Let's see here. Interesting. I am typing into the chat on my laptop and watching it on the app on TV. The app has sent me a commercial twice now. I'm sorry. I do have monetization turned on for this live stream, but it should just do it randomly. If you got sent to a commercial, I apologize. I will definitely dig into that for a future notice. Speaking of DJI, let's talk about the next thing here that's on my list. So the rumor has it that DJI is coming out with the Nano. And now the first leaked image that I saw of the Nano was this guy. And I look at that and I go, that looks suspiciously like the DJI Action 2. And for some reason, I don't think that DJI is going to come out with another square design. And I know a lot of people really liked the Action 2. I never got it. For some reason, I looked at it and I started seeing a lot of the problems that were being reported about it. And I was just like, it just doesn't interest me. This video or this image here, this is the one I think is actually going to be the DJI Nano, because it looks just like what? What does that look like? Since, DJI and Insta360 are playing this little back and forth game, doesn't that look suspiciously like this guy right there? Let's see if I can get this to focus. Of course, it doesn't want to focus. Anyway, the Insta360 Go 3S, or the Go 3, which I still think is a great little camera. But the Go 3S, fun little camera. But yeah, when I look at the Nano, I'm like, okay, so they're going to kind of steal that look too. And at this point, it's kind of getting a little bit humorous, where everybody's kind of borrowing from everybody else's design and function and trying to take their spin on it. But then again, in the same breath, I have to say, well, I'm sure GoPro felt the same way when DJI and Insta360 and SJ Cam and Akaso and all those other companies started coming out with their own brand of knockoff of a GoPro. I'm sure GoPro's like, wow, originality. Thanks. I'm sure that, Insta360 is looking at that going, wow, that looks really familiar. But, talking about the Go, Insta360's released the new Go Ultra. And, 4K 60, great. Here's one of the kickers that I'm really looking forward to. And I say looking forward to because I'm never in the pool of reviewers with Insta360 that get stuff pre-release. I would like to, because I have worked with other companies before on pre-release and been able to offer feedback. Like Akaso was one of them. SJ Cam was another one. And I would have liked that, but it's okay. I'm always going to be late to the party with these big companies, and that's because my channel is not large enough. And you know what? I'm okay with that. But eventually I will get it. But the thing I'm really looking forward to with this camera is the pure video mode. And if you know anything about pure video mode, like with the, let me grab this camera here. So the Insta360, the DJI Action 5 Pro. Okay. It had night mode in it. And Insta360 with the Ace Pro 1 had pure video mode. The Ace Pro 2, pure video mode. The X5 got a update with the pure video mode. These are all great things, because that was always the biggest complaint. Can you actually get some low light footage from an action camera, even though action cameras are actually made and designed for daylight action sports? But there's so many people that actually use action cameras just for vlogging now. And why not? Unless you're looking for really nice bokeh background where it's all blurred out and you like that separation, there's nothing wrong with everything being in focus, because the stabilization, you can't take a Sony a7 IV and walk around with this guy in your hand and vlog with it without there being some shakes and some jitters, unless you're sticking it on a gimbal. And if you're sticking it on a bigger gimbal, now it becomes a little bit more of a headache to deal with because it's large. And an action camera is small. Battery life's really good. Video quality is very good. Audio has improved dramatically over the last 4 years with these action cameras. So I think action cameras, and just because we're not using them for action, you're using them for vlogging. Now to be able to get some good nighttime footage with it is even a bigger plus. And one of the big things about the Insta360 Go Ultra is the sensor size. Now, sensor size is real important, and I'm going to kind of travel off into another thing, but let's talk about sensor size. So we've got the Insta360 Go 3S, has a 1/2.3 inch sensor in it, and that's capable of 4K 30. And then we've got the DJI Action 5 Pro with a 1/1.3 inch sensor, which is identical to the Ace Pro 2. And that's really nice because the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 and the DJI Action 5 Pro have that nice large sensor. But now let's look at the Go Ultra. It has a 1/1.28 inch sensor. You know, that's actually larger than what's in the Ace Pro 2 and the Action 5 Pro. So if that small little compact camera has a larger sensor, that's more surface area for it to be able to gather in more light. Hence why the pure video mode is something I'm really looking forward to testing and experiencing and actually using in real life. But then that kind of leads me into, if Insta360 with the Go Ultra has this larger sensor, then maybe this is going to be the next iteration of the Insta360 Ace Pro 3, that it's going to have that larger sensor in it. So it may have the sensor that is in the Go Ultra. And if that's the case, even better image quality and even better low light. But then again, what's GoPro going to do? I have no idea. Will the GoPro Hero 14 be something, GoPro over, let's see, I want to say it was when I had the GoPro Hero 8 and they were coming out with the 9, all these rumors, it's going to have a 1-inch sensor. And it didn't have a 1-inch sensor. GoPro Hero 10 didn't have one. The 11 didn't have one. The 12 didn't have one. They threw some speckles on the 12. The 13 didn't have one. The only 1-inch sensor action camera I remember is, and I've got the Insta360 1R that had the 4K module. Is a modular design, but it had a 4K module and the 360 module. And you could get the Leica 1-inch lens with it. Or purchase it separately. And I think it had tremendous potential. But I think that the inner workings of that camera, the software plus the hardware that was in the 1R, wasn't capable of really taking advantage of that 1-inch sensor. But it kind of makes you wonder. I'm going to pop back into chats here because I'm way behind. Let's see, Brandon, I don't recommend anything that I don't believe in. I just say, for the price, it's okay. I definitely don't mislead people. I want to build a channel and create a good reputation. Reputation is everything. I mean, it really, really is. And Grandpa's Random Reviews, I'm going to definitely check out your channel and subscribe to it because I like watching other review channels because everybody has a different take on things and has a different style. And if you got a great personality, that really... I've got the personality of a rock, and I got that. I'm very sarcastic, and I'm very straight to the point. I do have a funny side to me, and it's usually with friends and family. YouTube, maybe sometimes I'll take it too seriously, but I don't want to give you fluff of like, hey guys, on today's video, we're going to be doing, I'm sorry, I'm not 18. I'm not 21. I'm 61 years old, so... And that was never my personality anyway. Let's see what else we got here from Brandon. I usually don't turn on monetization until after the live, and then I turn on for replays. You know what? That's probably where I messed up. That may be where I messed up, Jimmy J. And I apologize. I will definitely check into the settings of that. This camera is going to be the death of me. Let's see here. Everybody is copying everybody. Yeah. Excuse me. My allergies are just tearing me up here in Texas. You know, the funny thing is, a lot of people, they say, why do these companies go to China, Japan to get stuff made? Because, you know, okay, it's cheaper to manufacture there than it is here in the U.S. And then people get really mad when a company comes out and they copy something and put it out for a lot less expensive than what the original brand was. And you have to think about it this way. If, let's say, hypothetically, let's say I have a company in China that is mass producing, let me find something here that was made in the U.S. I don't know. Let's say this battery. And I'm doing it for an American company. I'm mass producing this battery. And then I see that, wow, there's really a big market for it. Well, I'll just reverse engineer it, and I don't have to go through and spend millions of dollars on R&D. I just kind of take their intellectual property, kind of repackage it, and sell it, and everything is just a strict profit. I'm not saying that, I'm not condoning that, because I don't think that's the right way to do business at all, but you know, copying seems to be the norm when it comes to a lot of these companies. Let's see, Ron25. Hey, Ron, welcome on to the live stream. The Nano is why I'm waiting to buy the Go 3 Ultra. I can't fault you there. Well, first off, I don't have the Go 3 Ultra or the Go Ultra. I don't think they're calling it the Go 3, just the Go Ultra. I can't really talk about it because I don't have it in my hands. I know that Insta360 is sending it to me. Usually when they send me products, it takes anywhere from 7 to 10 days for it to arrive. If I was a consumer and I was saying, okay, well, Insta360 just came out with the Go Ultra. Well, it looks really good. The videos look really good. It shoots 4K 60, yada, yada, yada. But I hear rumors that DJI is coming out with a Nano, and then I see some of these leaked images like, let's see, like that right there, and I go, well, that looks suspiciously like the Go series. Yeah, I may not pull the trigger and buy the Go Ultra right away. I may wait to see what DJI's got to bring to the table, because DJI, you know, they are known for image quality. Don't get me wrong. You know, I wouldn't have bought all these DJI products if I didn't like DJI. I just know that some of their products have issues at times, and I just have to call it out as a consumer. But, yeah, I don't know when it's going to come out, Ron. I don't know if you've heard anything regarding a timeline for it. If you have, put it down in the chat, because I'd be interested. I'm going to guess that it's probably going to be around September, October before the Nano gets released. But you know what? I may be wrong. Since Insta360 released the Go Ultra, DJI may say, hey, it's time to release this Nano now. Let's see. Brandon, the only issues with action cameras is the video quality just isn't there. They do okay, good lighting though, but compared to the Canon EOS R, they don't compare, but they do have their place. And you know what? I agree with you 100%. When you're comparing an action camera to a larger camera, there's really no comparison, because there is subtle differences. And it's like the monitor that I use is actually a 10-bit monitor. So whenever I'm doing my other side projects that have nothing to do with this YouTube channel, that's where I like a calibrated 10-bit monitor. And I can definitely see the difference when I'm using action camera footage versus the FX6 or the FX3 or the Sony A7S III or the A7 IV, the FX30. There's a big difference. Even though FX30 is a Super 35 sensor, there's a big difference in video quality, but it is getting there. But when you think about, the image sensor on an action camera is so small. I mean, it really is. I mean, we're talking about, okay, well, the Ultra's got such a large sensor compared to the Ace Pro 2 and the Action 5 Pro, but when you compare it to a full frame sensor, it's dramatically different. And the bigger sensor is needed for a bigger image, or a better quality image, let me say. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of chats I've missed out on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sitting here rambling on. Brandon, oh yeah, action cameras definitely beat the big cameras when out walking. That is definitely no doubt. Oscar's thoughts and reviews. Hello, Oscar. Welcome to the Worth It or Not live stream. The X5 has quickly become my daily vlogging camera, but I do have the Go Ultra on order. I wanted to check out your channel too, because like I said, I like watching other review channels because it doesn't always have to be the same tech. I mean, you can be reviewing an Apple product or whatever the case is. And, whenever I'm on YouTube, believe it or not, and for all of us content creators, sometimes your creative juices flow when you're watching another video. And it's not to copy that video, but go, ooh, I like that portion, but I'd like to expand it into this and put my own take on it, or do some certain testing with it. So that's why I like checking out other channels. But yeah, the X5, definitely a great camera. When you think about vlogging, just put it in single lens mode, and you get really wonderful video out of it, considering that sensor size is small. But if you have it on 360 mode, you never miss a shot. You can be framing yourself talking about one thing, and let's say a car accident happens behind you or in front of you, you can, in editing software, flip it around and be able to take a look at it. And that's where 360 cameras really have come a long way. And speaking of 360 cameras, I did a review of this guy right there, the Akaso 360, and they call it the 360 action camera. And I kind of gave it a hard time during my review because of the image quality and the price that they were asking, and just knowing what Akaso did with the internals of the V50X and some of their other action cameras when they cheapened out the action camera or cheapened out the internals. It really turned me off, because I was like, you know what? You had a $99 action camera that was selling, I don't know, I'm gonna imagine it was hundreds of thousands of them. Why do you have to cheap out just to make an extra buck or two? But, I do look at firmware updates. My last video was talking about the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 new firmware that I was a little bit late on, because normally I try to check every couple of days, is there new firmware for any of these products? And I've been anxiously looking for Akaso to release a firmware update for that 360 camera, but they haven't. And like I said, my rep said that they're not going to. All right, Brandon, I still use the GoPro Hero 11 and 9 from time to time when I have outdoor review to do. Beats dragging the big tripod and all that around. 100% agree with you, except about the GoPro Hero 9 part. The GoPro Hero 9, I wish GoPro had properly addressed the audio popping with the GoPro Hero 9, because, their only admission about the issue was turn the camera on and wait 2 or 3 minutes, let it warm up, and then hit record, and then you won't have any audio popping. And that may be okay for a lot of people, but no, the GoPro Hero 11, I think, is a solid camera. The GoPro Hero 10, I think, is a solid camera. Let's see. Jimmy J. They should have never named it a 13. Bad luck. I said that. And it's funny because for us here in the States, 13 is a bad luck number. Although my wife and I, our first date was on a Friday the 13th, believe it or not, 100 years ago. And it's worked out perfectly. But yeah, that our first date was on a Friday the 13th, and every Friday the 13th that comes up, we celebrate. We go out and we have a nice little dinner, and talk about how that all happened. Because a lot of our friends, her friends and my friends, were just like, "Oh, Friday 13th date? That's that's not going to work out." But it's funny because in the Chinese culture, the number 4 is bad luck. And I was surprised that DJI came out with the Action 4, because the number 4, like I said, is a bad luck number. And anyway, that's just food for thought. Oscar's thoughts and reviews. If I need more coffee. If I remember right, aren't you based in Canada? For us here in the U.S., DJI products are not an option anymore, and it's a shame. I'll stick with Insta360 and GoPro. Just too much of a risk. No, I'm based in Texas. I'm in North Texas, United States, where it is hot and unbelievably toasty 9 months out of the year, it feels like. But no, I'm not in Canada. I know a lot of people in Canada, they were able to get the DJI, what's their latest drone? Mavic 4 Pro, I think is what it is. And there are a lot of people who are talking about, oh, well, you can't get it in the U.S. But no, I'm here in Texas. Jimmy J, I don't blame you on the commercials, Andre. My laptop stream is solid with no commercials. I apologize about the commercials. I will definitely do what was recommended earlier by Brandon and make sure that monetization is turned off for live stream, and I'll have it turned on after it ends. Excuse me. Oscar's thoughts and reviews. My apology. I thought you were in Canada. I'm in Corpus Christi, Texas area. Okay, well, you're nice and hot and sweltering too down there, but at least you got a body of water to go to. My only body of water to go to is in my backyard, the swimming pool. And, we just did an Alaskan cruise to kind of get away from the heat. And I wanted to do a cruise to Alaska. And we changed. Normally I cruise with Royal Caribbean. And this was our 4th cruise in 2 years. And it was first 3 cruises, Royal Caribbean. Fantastic. Then we did this cruise with Princess to Alaska. And by the way, Alaska is definitely something that if you've never been there, you should definitely take a cruise to Alaska. Great ports to see. We saw Juneau. We saw Skagway. There was one other one. But yeah, I got that off my bucket list. I'll take the Caribbean or the Gulf of, I was about to say Gulf of Mexico, but I guess it's Gulf of America now. But I'll definitely take a cruise to the Gulf of America anytime, any day of the week. And Princess, by the way, Princess, you're going to hate this review video that's coming out. It's going to be a long video because I've been working on it for the last 3 weeks, and I want it to be majority about Alaska and what to see and the history and all that stuff, and all the different cameras that I use to take certain shots, because I'm a tech channel. But yeah, the last little bit's going to not be very well for Princess, and is what it is. Let's see, Brandon. Well, Andre, we should get a little cooler this next week. Not sure it'll make it down to you, Oscar. Yeah, it was really weird because I looked at my phone yesterday and it said that we were going to get to like 79 next week. I was like 79 degrees in August. Get out of here. I love it. Oscar's thoughts and reviews. Grandpa, we'll take whatever we can get. I don't, Oscar, let me know. Do you ever get any okay, you're down in Corpus Christi, so I don't think you get you may get cooler weather, but I don't think Corpus Christi's ever had snow. And if I'm incorrect, definitely let me know. But the way that this summer has gone, and it's I've told a bunch of people, considering that this is the end of August and we're in the 90s, and we're going to be in the 80s here in a couple of days. I cannot complain whatsoever, but it makes me wonder how bad that this winter is going to be, because for those of you that are watching and you think Texas is always just a just hot place to live, it normally is. But we do have our winters here. And I can remember back in let's see, this is Alzheimer's starting to kick in now at my age. 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. We had like 4 or 5 days of solid snow, and then there was an ice storm on top of it, which gave a nice little layer of ice on top of the snow. It definitely gets very, very cold up here. I know 4 years ago we got below zero. I think 12, 14 degrees below zero. The power went out. My pool equipment froze and busted, because even though I have a freeze guard that keeps your stuff from freezing because it turns on the pool pump, if the power goes out, the pool stops working, and it destroyed all the equipment. Let's see. Brandon, we may be in trouble this winter. I think that we're going to be in big trouble this winter, just by the way that the summer's going. But it's like I told my wife, if this is the way that Texas, because she's like, oh well, don't forget, global warming, and I'm like, if this is global warming, I'll take it. I will take global warming, because it's a nice little hiatus from the heat. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. I do want to thank everybody for joining in on this live stream. It's just conjecture on some of these items. I am looking forward to the Nano just to see what it looks like. Let's see, Oscar, I want to say it was 2004, had a miracle Christmas where it snowed about 5 inches on Christmas Eve. Oh, wow. Christmas. See, that's the greatest thing. When it's Christmas and it's snowing, or Christmas Eve and it's snowing, or New Year's and it's snowing, I love that. It just reminds me of growing up in Detroit. It was beautiful. Before that, I've never seen snow, and I was stationed in D.C. Oh, since you were stationed back in D.C. Yeah, D.C. definitely gets some snow. Jimmy J, Hounder, what's the plan for live streams? Weekly, 1 hour in length? What you thinking? I'm thinking weekly, and what I may do, since I'm going to call this the Tech Talk live stream, or newest Tech Talk, I can't remember what the thumbnail said. Isn't that crazy? It's just been a bizarre day when you have kids. Sundays, to me, I'm thinking on Sundays. And I'll tell you why, because the weekends, everybody seems to have a lot of plans. And if it's on a Sunday, I think it's a little bit more laid back, because you got your Friday night knocked out. You got your Saturday stuff. Our daughter doesn't have any tournaments coming up until, let's see, August, September, October. No, end of September. She's got some weekend tournaments. She plays volleyball, and then she plays volleyball for high school. She plays volleyball for club, and it's a traveling team, but that club season doesn't start up till November. So, I was thinking Sundays. And what I may actually do is, if I have a product that I'm about to put out a review on, I'll release a review video, a little snippet of it on here, so that you guys can check it out. And if you have any questions or some tests that you want me to run on it, that way I can do that before the official release of a product review. Oscar, Sundays would be good. Okay, looks like Sundays are good. Let's see, Tuesday and Thursdays already full of live streams. Don't pick those days like Sunday night. Okay, Sunday night's going to be. All right, looks like everybody's chimed in. I know Tuesday is our day off of work between my wife and I, and even though it's a day off, that's our honeydew day. So doctor's appointments, all that stuff. So Tuesdays kind of a wash for me. Let's see. I do lives on Wednesday on the other channel. Thursdays usually. Sometimes life happens. Yep. Sundays would be great. Okay. It looks like the majority consensus is that we're going to do live streams about tech on Sundays, and my wife and I enjoy your channel. Well, thank you, Oscar. I appreciate that. I have to check out your channel. I'm going to make sure that I'm making little notes here on everybody's channel I need to subscribe to and check out. And if there's any other random viewers that are watching this right now and you want to drop your channel down in the bottom, it doesn't have to be a review channel. I mean, I watch, man, I tell you, my watch habit is very wide. I have a very wide taste of YouTube channels I like to watch. A lot of them are for just entertainment purposes. I watch Alter. I think that's what it's called. ALTER. And they do a lot of short films, a lot of horror short films. And I kind of like watching some of their stuff too. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. So it looks like Sunday is the day. Let me know in the comment section real quick before everybody cuts out. Is 7 o'clock good like what I did? 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, since it's 8:04 Central Standard Time right now. And watch. Just because I said I was going to leave, everybody left. Okay, Brandon, 7 would be great. GBJ, 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay, well, it looks like, you know what, this was probably one of the easiest decisions to do a live stream as far as picking out the day and picking out the time. Gives me a break from editing and videoing. You know, we probably would need to talk about that one time, because I think that people that don't do reviews, and I'm not saying that anybody that doesn't have a channel that doesn't do reviews, they do something different, that it's any easier. But I think that people that don't do reviews on YouTube have really no idea what goes into creating a video. From coming up with an idea, coming up with a shot list that you want to do, the test that you want to do, a script as far as your bullet points that you want to cover, whether it's pros or cons, talking about a product. If you really feel that this product is something that is really worthwhile and you feel really good about it, you have to be able to say why. And if you don't think it's very good, you got to be able to say why. And all the editing process and the B-roll that goes into it. And, you know, one day I'll talk about it in the members area, because I actually released a video in the members area talking about what do I do for a living from 9 to 5. And so I put a video in there, and so I get to disclose what my 9 to 5 job is. But I've got a couple of fires in the iron. I've got a couple of irons in the fire. I tell you, I need so much more coffee. It's unreal. So when I'm not editing videos for Worth It or Not, and I'm not editing videos for Exploring with Andre, or for my daughter's channel, or for my wife's channel, then I do documentary videos. So those probably take up the majority of my time as far as editing, because I've got to put a lot of effort into it, and you know, maybe if I spent more time in the production quality of Worth It or Not, making the videos instead of just trying to get them out and not really worrying about it, if I spent some more quality time, maybe the channel would actually grow to a decent level. But right now I'm very happy with everything that's going on. But yeah, the documentary stuff keeps me so deeply busy, but it's really just, I love it. I love it. Let's see. Oh, good Lord. It's twice the work than I ever regular job. You know, Brandon, it really is. I mean, if you're going to have a review channel and you're doing reviews, you better do it because you love it. because there's a lot of work that's involved into it. And then people don't understand the cost when you're thinking, there's a lot of channels that use their phone for videotaping, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want better quality video, you got to give it better quality camera. Then you need editing software. And I'm at an age where I've been using Adobe Premiere Pro for, let's see, my daughter's 14, so 16 years. So for 16 years, I've been using Adobe Premiere Pro. And I'm old enough to where I don't want to learn a new trick and do DaVinci Resolve, even though it's free. I'd rather just pay Adobe. I'm used to the product. I know where everything's at. But you got to pay for that. Then you got to pay for music service. Then you got to pay for this. You got to pay for that. So it definitely starts ramping up. Let's see. My wife and I plan on being in DFW in a few weeks, and we'll be visiting the Purple Heart Museum, planning on doing a vlog on. Hey, that's very cool. Very cool. Drop me an email if you want to hook up while you're up here in the DFW area. See, Jimmy J, I don't think that just review-based channels issue production isn't always as easy as it looks. No, that's very true. It's very true. But I will say when it comes to product reviews, you got to do a lot of, God, you can tell I am just like completely wore out. You've got to do a lot of research on the product and a lot of research on like the internals of the product. And you got to write down how many tests do you want to do? What are the key things that I think are important that I want to cover? And then what would a viewer that is looking to you or to me to buy a product, what would their burning questions be? And then I'm just saying, all video production is difficult and it's in its own right. I think review channels, they get the short end of the stick because everybody thinks it's just so easy. And look at us, we get all this gear for free. And it's just, I've gotten to a point to where if it's a product I'm not interested in, I don't review it. I just don't have time for it. Let's see. I have so many irons in the fire. I need more fires. You and me both, Jimmy. I have so many irons in the fire, Jimmy, that I've got so many fires in the iron. I don't know if you caught that earlier. See, Brandon recently started using Resolve. Now you're going to make me feel bad about saying that I'm old and I don't want to learn a new trick. We went to Hawaii once, and I was going to go up Diamond Head. And we walked all the way up to the parking lot to Diamond Head, and that's like a 3-mile walk just to get up to there. And then I looked at it, and I told my wife, I said, I'm not doing it. And then we came back stateside, continental USA stateside. Came back to Texas. I told my wife, I said, that's one of my biggest regrets. I mean, geez, I was there. So we went back again maybe five years after that. And it was a point that I wanted to go tackle Diamond Head. And Diamond Head, Jesus, I mean, I've got a video somewhere on this channel buried somewhere that, what's this camera doing to me? It's a little time lapse of me going up Diamond Head. Wow, that was a heck of a workout. Jimmy J, my trademark saying, you can teach an old dog new tricks. You just can't teach a dumb dog any. What are you trying to say, Jimmy? What are you trying to say? Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe I'm a dumb dog. That's okay. I'm a creature of habit. I mean, when I go to a restaurant, if it's one that we've been to before, I get the same thing. You know what? I know what's good. I know what I like. I don't want to experiment and be stuck with something that I end up not liking. And I kind of feel the same way about editing software. So I've been with Adobe for all these years. I like how it works. I do like the fact that DaVinci Resolve is supposed to be very powerful for color grading. And when I'm doing my little side stint on documentary filmmaking, color grading is a big issue. That's hence why I use a 10-bit monitor, because I want to get some really accurate colors whenever I'm dealing with that. But, you got a free version of DaVinci, or you can spend I think it's $3.99 or $4.99, and you get the license, and you're good to go. Let's see. Brandon, a lot of calling yourself names for forgetting what you need to say. Yeah, that happens a lot. I take a lot of my stuff to Bowie. See, that's what happens when I don't keep up with the chat quick enough, because you make a comment and I don't know what it was that I was talking about. And Marketplace. Hey, I'm 60, so I'm right behind you, Andre. Yeah, I turned 61 in June. See, I'm so old, almost forgot. I remembered the year, though. It was a long time ago. No, but, I'm 61, and considering some of my friends that are in my age group, they look decrepit. They look absolutely decrepit. So, my wife always tells me, I don't know if she's just saying that because, she's my wife, but she's like, oh, you do not look your age. And I'm like, God, I haven't seen my friends, and they all look like they're ready for walkers. Jimmy, you're smart enough for new tricks. I totally get what you're saying. I'm an old dog too. Hey, if the way I look at it is, if I can afford the software and I'm already used to the whole layout, I know all my shortcuts, all that. It's like I can edit a video and get around with effects and all that with my eyes closed. To me, that's worth a certain amount of money. And OBS took me a little while to kind of figure out. Getting this little widget for the pop-ups took a little while to get it actually done in here, but it actually turned out really well. And believe it or not, the scrolling text, God, that was a headache. That was a year ago that I figured that one out, or figured out how to do it, should I say. Anyway, here it is. It is now 8:15. And I'd like to, Tim's joined the party. Tim Wolf, youngsters. I turned 72 years. You know what is this? Like the geriatric live stream. Oh, okay, everybody who's got AARP, that's going to be the name of next Sunday's live stream, the AARP live stream. So if you don't have an AARP card, you cannot join this live stream and talk. You know what? 72 years old. You're 72 years young. 72 years young. I want to be like you when I grow up. I use CapCut, keeping it simple. I think my daughter uses CapCut on some of the stuff on her phone. It's amazing. And I don't know how old you are, Oscar. Like I said, I'm going to have to check out your channel and subscribe to it. But, these kids are so technologically knowledgeable, because she shows me stuff on my iPhone 16 that I didn't know you could do. And she's just like, oh, yeah, let me show you this, Dad. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. And here it is. I thought I was pretty tech savvy. I got a tech channel, and I got a 14-year-old that knows a lot more than I do. Let's see, Tim Wolf. All right, thumbs up. All right, very good. I want to see your AARP card. Oscar, 50. God, you're 57? Okay, now, all I can see is, like, on the screen right now, right there, that photo, and that photo is, like, only that big, but you look, I think it's a guy and a girl. You look like you're in your 20s. So if you're 57 and that's the way that you look, wow. Congratulations. Let's see. Jimmy J, last chat for me. Have a great night. I can't wait for another. Very good, Jimmy J. Remember, next Sunday, 7 p.m., bring your AARP card. We're going to call it the geriatric live stream for tech. I don't know. Maybe we'll cover hearing aids next Sunday for all of us people that are getting up there a little bit. But once again, sincerely, thank you very much for joining this live stream. It'll be every Sunday from 7 p.m. till 8 p.m., 8:30-ish. All depends on how the flow goes. If the flow goes really good, then, hey, I'm not going to do an Alan live stream. I think Alan did 21 hours nonstop. He was doing that zip fizz that you take to keep you going. I'll never do that. I'm too old for that. It's your wife and I. Okay, very good. Like I said, Oscar, I'm going to check out your channel. I'm going to subscribe to it, and then I can see a bigger picture versus what I see on this little widget on the screen. Let's see. Tim Wolf, I worked in IT from 68 to 2010. I'm trying to play with some of these AI apps. I know AI. Okay. And I know this is a shameless plug for Artlist. And yes, Artlist is a sponsor of this channel. And their AI has gotten so good. So you can write out a text and it'll go text to image. It'll create the image for you. You can go image or text to video. You can go a picture to video. Of course, you've got the AI voice changing features where you could do text to voice and choose all the different voices. Here's something that they just came out with, which I'm going to experiment with on maybe Tuesday evening if I have time on my day off. But you put in anywhere from 10 seconds to 5 minutes of your voice talking. And it will learn how you talk, and it'll reproduce your voice, and you can text or you can type out something, and it will text to your voice. I want to really test that out because AI has come a long, long way. Let's see. Wife and I or diapers. Okay, I missed that somewhere. I'm trying to look at your picture here. Tim Wolf, you're on my calendar. Very good. I hope that you can join next week. There is hopefully the Nano, listen to me. Hopefully the Gold Ultra will be here in my hands, and we can do some testing, and I'll show you some video quality and kind of give you my little take on it. And then I'll wait till the DJI Nano comes out to really apples to apples, oranges to oranges. Because, I did put out that video about the top 3 action cameras of 2025 so far of August. And I like putting up videos that are side-by-side comparisons so that you can decide for yourself which one you like best. But anyway, enough of this live stream. Thank you all that joined. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And as I always say, I'll catch you in the next review. All right, bye-bye.